Hey everybody, we're going to do a slightly different video today. Excuse me. I'm going to do a walking video, but I'm going to be talking about guns. And more specifically, the gun bans going on here in Canada. And how they're really upsetting me and my family. So, just sit back and we're just going to go for a cruise. We're in beautiful Parc La Fontaine. It's not so beautiful right now. These tree coverings here is for the toboggans. You can actually, in good weather, you can really whip down that hill. That's so you don't, hurt yourself. They also put hay. Okay. So, let me give you a little history on my experience with guns. Okay, I'm an old guy. I just turned 59. My grandfather served in the Second World War. My father was in the military for 40 years. My grandfather served in the Second World War. So I come from a military family. So guns, were a thing. And when you're a 10-year-old in the 70s, I was born in 66, when you're 10 years old in 1976, when it came to Christmas time, all I wanted was a gun set, because I used to talk to my grandfather about the war and, watch Hogan's Heroes, and you'd get the Sears catalog and they would have gun sets. You would never see those anymore. And they shot little plastic bullets or they fired caps. And that's all I wanted for Christmas. And all my friends were the same. I know, it sounds crazy, but that's the way it was in the 70s. Now I would travel to the cottage every summer. My father, as I mentioned, was in the military. I was born in Germany. We moved to England, and we ended up in Ottawa. My grandparents lived in Nova Scotia and had a cottage on the Northumberland Strait. You'd get up right on the ocean, and you would look across the strait at PEI. Anyway, and my grandfather was in the Second World War. He immigrated from Czechoslovakia. And as he tells it, the next thing you know, he was wearing a skirt, and they sent him back to Europe with a gun over his shoulder. Now what he meant by that was he was in the North Nova Scotia Highlanders. Look it up. I'll try to put some pictures. And they wore kilts, like Scottish. So he's from Czechoslovakia, and now he's wearing a kilt. You can't win. Whatever. And he was in Europe for 6 years. Now, the war was only 4 years long, but he was in the occupying army. Now, he was a pack rat, as my mother, his daughter, used to point out. He would come back from the dump with more stuff than he took to the dump. I used to love going to the dump with him. But anyway, I mentioned him because he brought back from Europe with him a P-38. It was a Walther P-38 revolver. Oh, sorry, it's not a revolver. It is a Luger 9mm. Not a revolver, scratch that. I've been looking at revolvers lately. I have a revolver on mine. And you've seen it in so many movies. It's the German officer's handgun, made by Walther. And he came back with a 303, a rifle, which is Canadian issued, bolt action. And he had bayonets and gas masks, and he had a museum with the stuff. That's the way we all got grenades. My brother, myself. I still have a grenade. Obviously not. It's a dummy grenade, but you can't tell. There's a few holes drilled in it. Now in the 70s, I took it to school to show and tell. Imagine if you did that now? I'd be swatted. Now the teacher did call home, and my mother assured they had a good laugh. Oh, it's a dummy grenade. But imagine if you did that now. You would never. I actually have it locked up and in a storage away from where I live. Because I used to have it use a paperweight. I'm thinking the world's so crazy. Somebody sees that. Next thing you know, you get a knock on your door at 4 a.m. And gas masks and Geiger counters, all that stuff from the war. Great, I'm walking through the mud. Wife will love that when I get home. So just, I'm just giving you my history with guns here. All right? So my grandfather, and his name was Yaroslav Adolf, was his middle name. He went by Jerry, because as you can imagine, during the Second World War, Adolf wasn't a popular name. You didn't want to tell anybody you were an Adolf. He was a real character. So, he had great stories. He loved to tell stories. He'd draw me diagrams. And his brother, worked in the Spring Hill coal mines. And, everybody there was in the war and they had a limp because they were shot. And, that's the way it was. And there's a big, Canadian history, a big fire in Spring Hill and the coal mine collapsed. And, they were part of the rescue team. And, that's what men were like back in the olden days. So I was fascinated, a kid from Ottawa with my grandfather. And anyway, so I would, because my father was in the military, I could hop on the military airplanes and fly to Nova Scotia and spend the entire summer at the cottage. That was the only thing that got me through the year, knowing that I was going to the cottage. As I hated school, other than show and tell when I could bring the grenade. But I loved my grandfather and I loved the cottage. But he knew. My point is, he would meet me at the Annapolis Airport in Nova Scotia, military airport. And he would immediately hand me the P-38, which is in a holster, the Walther P-38 Luger. And I'd put it around my waist. And I'd spend the whole summer with that P-38 around my waist at the beach in Nova Scotia. We'd get up in the morning with the binoculars and look for Germans. That's what he would say. Check out the ocean there. And then we'd chop wood, pump water, and I'd walk around with the 303 rifle, the bolt-action rifle on my shoulder, and a P-38 as an 8, 9, 10-year-old. That's the way it was. And it was no big whoop. Everybody loved it. Occasionally cops would walk by the beach and they'd say, hey, cool, check it out. You see what I'm getting at here? Okay. So then as I got a little older, I'm talking 10, 11, 12, I guess. At the local RA center in Ottawa, they had a shooting club for young kids. Oh, a little sunset, eh? Nice. And just trying to stay in the sun here. I joined. I would go to Laurentian Trading Post in Ottawa, 10-year-old, buy a sleeve of 22 ammunition because you had to supply your own ammo. And they would give you the 22 rifle and scope, and you'd lie down and shoot at targets. And that was something I do on a weekend. All right. So I spent the summer with a P-38 Luger handgun and a 303 bolt-action rifle, and all kinds of countless bayonets and swords and stuff. German stuff. The Germans, you know, they had all kinds of, I don't want to say cool stuff, but you know, I like their stuff, their helmets and whatnot more than the Canadians, but whatever. My grandfather, he brought it all back. Grenades. And I'd wear one of his, you know, army jackets. I was like a little mini commando. And we'd build fires every night with washed up, you know, wood and whatnot on the beach. And it was great. So, then in the 80s, moved back to Germany. Dad was in the military. We're in Park La Fontaine. It's dirty, but this place, yeah, God willing, if you keep watching my videos, you won't believe the transformation. People everywhere, barbecues. Just a little off subject. For the first year, they banned charcoal barbecues in this park. We've been barbecuing for decades. Filming, taking pictures. People loving barbecuing in this park. And now they decided for air quality, see what's happening here? No more charcoal, only propane. We got a big bag of charcoal. We live, you know, in an apartment. And this was our place to come and barbecue. I bet, let's see if we can find a sign. Yeah, I can see the signs from here. That's what's going on. Anyway, let's oh. Yeah, what's that say, everybody? Sur les bagues barbecue à gaz propane ou butane sont autorisés. You see that right there? It's on all the poles. You know, we were barbecuing all last year, and it's kind of on the same theme of what I'm getting to here. And I don't know if you can see over there on that pole and that light fixture. There's they have bigger signs. They're everywhere, and they're in every park. Just wandering around the park. You haven't been here because it's iced in. You normally can't move, see? And you can't walk too far here. Hockey, that's going to turn into pétanque. Anyway, I'll get back to the subject at hand here. We're talking about guns and the gun ban. So then in the 80s, my father got posted back to Germany. I was born there, moved to England, Ottawa, boom, I mentioned that. And then, you know, there was the days of going to the cottage every summer were over and moved to Germany. No complaints. That was lots of fun. Now, no, say in Germany after the war, there are no guns there. You had to need special permits. Guns weren't even even though I lived on an army base and the army guys all had guns. There's no going, you know, civilian going to a range. So guns wasn't a part of my life at all. Moved back to Canada in the late 80s. My grandfather passed away. Of course, my grandmother said to the neighbor, hey, you can have whatever you want. He had a museum in his basement of World War II. But we got there before the neighbor, and we got that P-38. All that stuff. And we were with my sister's husband, my brother-in-law. And, you know, we just packed it up, put it in the truck, and, you know, going from Ottawa to Nova Scotia, it's you know, the best route is to go through the United States. I don't know if I should mention this, but my brother just put the P-38 in his luggage, and then we crossed the border. when my sister's husband found out that he had actually smuggled a gun, boy, he freaked out. That was the 80s. We didn't really think about it. It was an antique, memento from our grandfather. We never really put two and two together. Now, if anybody's, troublemakers out there, none of this stuff is located where I dwell. And so, this is, just telling stories here, all right? Don't bother kicking in my door. There's no P-38, no grenades. I scrubbed the house. Because I know the world we live in. One where you can't even barbecue in a park. In fact, in Montreal, you can't even have a wood-burning fireplace anymore. Can you believe it? I'm not making that up. If you have one, your grandfather did. New houses, forget it. You got to burn these pellets. That's how crazy the world has gone. And we just, you see, when they proposed that, the people just stood there like deer in the headlights. And the government couldn't believe it, so they imposed it right away. They're like, wow, I can't believe that people are allowing us to do this. And sure enough. And if you renovate, I don't think you can change your old fireplace. And, whoa, I love the smell of a fireplace. Can you imagine this city, excuse me, without fireplace? So anyway, we got the gun, my grandfather. So that's, more gun history. But then after that, because, I'm surrounded, the TV and I wasn't anti-gun, but they keep bombarding you with guns are bad, a gun. And, I probably said, oh, they should ban all guns. And fast forward to 5 years ago. My wife and I decided, my wife's a country girl. We're living in a city here. She has, her family all have guns. And you see, we got to the point where the more the government, just like the barbecue here, I'm going to play dumb and I'm bringing my barbecue here and I have charcoal. And they're going to have to stop me. That's right. I'll have my apron on and my oven mitt, my barbecue mitt and steak on the barbecue. Ouch. It's quite a workout these ladies are up to. But anyway, I don't even know where I'm going here. I don't want to get too wet. Let's keep going. So, I'm talking about how crazy everything is in Canada, but mainly on the guns. So, during COVID, of course, we had a lot of time off. And we wanted to keep busy. And the government started to rumble, rumblings in the government about more gun bans and handgun bans. We're like, wow, this is crazy. Maybe it's time we should run out and get our gun license now. You heard my history, playing with my guns as a kid and 22, you didn't need a gun license. You just joined the IRA, no big whoop, whatever. Common sense. You were trained and, hey, you had to take a course and whatnot, and they didn't just throw a gun at you, but anyway. So, in the COVID time, we checked out on the net, where do you take your long gun course? We didn't care where. And the lineups, because the government were scaring people about, banning guns, and that actually made people buy hoard guns. And people, to take a class, especially here in Montreal, we wanted it in English. It was like, whoa, because there was a date where they wanted to ban handguns. We wanted to get handguns and rifles. So we just searched the website And we ended up in a place called Quillon, Quebec, which is Ottawa, Quillon. You know, it's the border of Ottawa, whatever. Because we had time. COVID, wasn't a lot going on. And we were like, okay, wherever we can take the course, we took it. We took the long gun on Wednesday. Now, before you can take the restricted, which is for handguns, you have to get your results from the long gun. But we told the instructor what we wanted to do, and because he can't tell you the results. But he emailed the restricted guy, and because there was a restricted course in Ottawa, let's say 4 days later. Like on Wednesday, we took the long gun, and on Saturday, now all the courses were booked up, and we managed to do it in a week. And we knew we passed. It was great because he goes, yeah, welcome, come on down to the restricted. It was in Ottawa, a little more expensive than here, but whatever. It's in English and a great guy. If you've taken Ottawa, you probably know who I'm talking about. He's like some forensics, RCMP forensics guy, and very thorough. Stayed at my sister's in Ottawa. Took that, boom, passed it. My wife got 100%. I forgot that. I left one question blank. I was going to go back to it at the end of the test, and I forgot to go back to it, handed it in. For the long gun, I did that. The guy goes, hey, you forgot to answer a question. And then I answered it, got it right. But this guy, he didn't tell me. So I don't even count that as a wrong. But anyway, I got 49 out of 50. And actually, my wife got 48 out of 50. She got 2 wrong. So I count that as 100% for me and 48 for. But for the hands-on part, she got 100%, and my finger slightly touched the trigger at one point. He had to deduct 2 points. So we had the same scores, but she got 100% on the aptitude or the hands-on part. Anyway, so in a 5-day space, boom, driving around, went to Quillon, to this hotel that really caters to snowmobiles, and this was in the spring or early summer. And we figured, drive all the way there and back, so we stayed in the motel. And we were the only ones. Actually, it was a hotel. And they lock it up at night, and we were the only ones in. It was kind of creepy. But anyway, and it was a good experience. So there we go. We got our gun license. Now, as you know, once you pass a course, you're on your way, but you can't buy a gun yet. You have to, I hope I'm getting this right order, you have to get some pictures, not passport, pictures. Okay, boom. You have to get them notarized. Somebody who knows you, witnesses. In Quebec, you have to go to the closest police station to where you live. Let them know you plan on buying guns, and they have to fill out a piece of paper. Okay? Then you have to fill out an application. And all kinds of questions. Are you crazy? Have you been depressed? Have you done this? Have you done that? Your criminal record. Ever beaten your wife? Your wife ever beaten you? All this stuff. So that you got to fill that out. And send that into the RCMP. So if you do it at one time, so as I was saying, somebody's bothering me, sending me texts. I had to check it out. Here we are in Sherbrooke. I think I'll change hands again. So after you pass the course, Now, as you're waiting to hear, you could start filling out. You have to get 2 different witnesses, get some pictures. As I said, in Quebec, you have to go to the police station. We got all that stuff ready. So the moment you get confirmation that you passed the course, it's going to take a while. It might take 2 months, because everybody was running around at that time because Trudeau was scaring us all, rightfully so, that he's going to ban handguns, which he did, and a whole bunch of other guns. And we were like, whoa, we got it done before the handgun ban, but we didn't get our license in our hand before, so we couldn't buy handguns. But anyway, so you have to fill out a bunch of stuff, go to the police station, get pictures taken, not passport size, slightly different size. I actually did the pictures myself and then took them to one of those kiosks where you pay like 10 cents or whatever and cut them, and to save 40 bucks, whatever. It worked. You just got to make sure they're the right size. And there's actually, I think, an app or something that will make sure you get the right size. I hope everybody can hear me here. Oops. Changing hands. What are you saying? Okay. There we go. So, once you pass the course, it's not over yet in Canada. You got to fill out all this stuff. You got to be vetted. You have to sign away. Before, apparently before it was, in the last 5 years, have you been institutionalized or this or that or on drugs? Now they want to know your whole life. Whatever. Fill it out, send it in, which we did. We hadn't done anything that, we didn't have to lie or anything, so it's really no big whoop. But still, you think you pass your course, you can buy a gun? No. You have to send it to RCMP. Then it ends up in New Brunswick. And then you play the least favorite game of all, the waiting game. Now at that time, again, Trudeau was scaring everybody, and you think people would give up on guns? No, it made people go to the gun courses like crazy, so they couldn't keep up with the demand. And so it took months, and we were too late. Let's say, I don't know, the data could be wrong. I think it was like October 20th was the last day you could buy handguns. And we got our license, let's say, the 5th of January. We missed it by whatever. In the mail, happy to get it. The day, now before we got our license, they had banned, it's very dirty, but things are going to get better. They had a whole list here in Canada of rifles and whatnot. Not just handguns, there's a freeze of notes, you can forget about that. If you have a handgun in Canada, okay, if I'm understanding this correctly, you can't leave it to a child or a relative if you pass away. Can't sell it, can't transfer it. You can still use it. You have to be a member of a club. And when you die, the government's going to come and take it. I didn't make that up. That's the law here, right as it stands. No transfers. So when you buy a handgun here in Canada, once you go through that process that I just mentioned, even then, when you have your license, you can't walk into a store. Say, yes, I'd like to buy that handgun. They go, oh, very good. You pay for it, right? Then, if you're lucky, you get it in the mail a month later. Or they tell you to come pick it up, whatever. Because they have to go through this process. So in Canada, we already have these, it's not a driver's license and 3 days wait, like in some states. You got to really want a gun here. And nobody with a record, nobody gets in any trouble. So anyway, that's what you have to do. So we finally got our long gun license. Are restricted also. Couldn't really do much with it. And they repealed, is that the word? The list of banned long guns. And they had all kinds of stuff on that list. Is that a dog or a tree stump? Okay, it's a tree stump. So I ran out. I said to a friend who's into guns, I go, we want to go to the range. I want to get some basic guns. He goes, start off with a Ruger 1022. He goes, you can't go wrong with that. And he's right. My wife loves that gun. No recoil. We got the mag pull version, the backpacker, whatever. Just look cool. You can, it breaks in half and holds together. And again, we're just learning about guns. So if you don't like that gun or think that was a mistake, go ahead. Let me know. I'll take any suggestions on what got you the next gun I want to get is a lever action, because you can't really get much now. But if you know what lever action to get, feel free to let me know. So if there's any Canadians out there, Americans, who have an opinion on lever action, because that they haven't banned yet. And so the other guy, so the day I got the license, I ran to a famous local gun store in my neighborhood called Dante's. They sell cookware, pots and pans, oven mitts and aprons, and guns. Check it out. It's been there forever. It's in Little Italy. I ran there. I bought the Ruger 1022 Magpul edition. A gun. It still hasn't been banned yet. My wife loves it. It's great for women. I like it too. It's very accurate. A great gun, and you can store 4 magazines of 10 or 3 in the handle, and it's really cool. Light, and I was also recommended that everybody, if you're going to have long guns, should have a shotgun. They're very versatile, and I bought, you can probably guess, the Remington 870 Tactical 6+1. Now I checked today because I'm like, boy, I know for hunting you have to have a pin or whatever. You can't load more than 3 shots. But they're still for sale. So those 2 guns haven't been banned. Now, excuse me, just for fun, so I bought those 2 the day I opened the envelope. Then we ran off to work. It's funny because I hadn't shot since I was a kid, and when I bought the 1022, and the shotgun, both same day. I bought like a 50 pack, or I don't know, maybe a couple of 50 packs. I don't even know. Maybe a 500 pack of 22 ammo. Not realizing. Now, when you go to the range and plinking, that's like a day at the range right there. And then you're out of ammo. I thought it was a lot, is my point. And I bought a few boxes of, I had never shot a shotgun before. I think there's video of me. So we joined a club. Took our 1022 and a shotgun. And of course, gun ranges only allow you to use slugs. Of course, because you don't want to spray the place with all kinds of pellets. So you imagine, I never shot a shotgun before. And, I'm not a big guy. I weigh too much, but for my height, but stocky. But anyway, And I pulled the trigger, that Remington 870, and wow. That's what I think I looked at the camera and said, wow. There's nothing like shooting a shotgun. And so that was, we were like, wow, this is going to be a family, because my wife, she's really down with it. Country girl, farmer girl. We like guns. So lucky to have a wife that's into it. I couldn't imagine not. I meet other men, they're like, oh, their wives against guns. And I'm like, well, get a new wife. But I don't say that, but some stuff that you have to be on the same page with. Anyway, just walking through the plateau talking about the gun ban. And so, those were our first 2 guns. Got them the day I got my license to ban. Those 2, I don't know if they were on the list of guns that they were going to ban or not. But whatever, I think they might have been. Or at least the shotgun. Then, a month later, because all my friends who were into guns and had guns told me about how expensive ammo got during COVID, and that the ammo prices were going down and you should buy ammo. And I wanted to shoot 9mm, hoping that these stupid laws would go away, and I could get a 9mm handgun. So I wanted something, so I bought a, carbine. Now I like the Ruger 1022 backpacker. So guess what I bought? You got it. I bought the Ruger 9mm 1022 carbine. Is it carbine or carbine? Does it even matter? The backpacker, the 9mm. That way I could justify buying 9mm. And that was great. Now again, I'm sure that a lot of people, I've seen comments, buy a real gun. We just want to plink at this point. People go, buy a hunting rifle, whatever. Bullets aren't cheap. We want to go to the range. 9mm is not cheap, but compared to other stuff, it is. So don't freak out, but I bought the Ruger backpacker 9mm in sandstorm or whatever they call it, desert storm, gray, whatever. And that was great. It has, it has a kick. Nothing compared to a shotgun. But it was like, yeah, great. I bought that from RDSC. I think that's Regina Shooting Club or something. Because, at that time, I wanted to get some guns before they took them away from us. And then, of course, I'm in gun mode now. And since we're into plinking, and you can't, again, people go, get a real gun, people at work, army guys, I'm not a sniper. We just want to go to the local club. It's like a family thing we're getting into here, my wife and I. So what else did I buy? I bought another 22. Which one did I buy? Guess. That's right. I bought the GSG-16, the new version. Great deal. You get like a hologram red dot. And 2, for whatever reasons, in Canada, you can't have a magazine capacity more than 10. But of this 22, the Ruger, or the GSG, German sports gun, it has a magazine with a 22 round capacity. It shoots 22 long, LR, but you can get a so in Canada it's such a drag. Luckily, the 9mm Ruger carbine 10 round magazine. These other rifles that my friends have, you can only put like 5 in it. What a drag. And you can really pump out 22 rounds quickly. Any gun guy will tell you that. And so it was so cool to have the GSG You can probably see where I'm going with this one, right? Nice church. So it's so much fun to have the GSG because you could fire 22 rounds, you know, and then so made sure that I bought a bunch of magazines with it. You got 2 with it, I bought another 2 when they were on sale. Why not? Right? So you go to the gun club, load it up, and then you can really do some plinking without having to reload it, you know. You got 4 of those, you shoot 84 rounds. In Canada, that's as good as it gets. So what am I getting at? Well, in October this year, I believe it was October, that gun ban that they repealed, let's say a year or 2 earlier, well, they imposed it, or whatever the word is. They activated it. And guess what guns were on that list? Well, a whole bunch of them, including my GSG 16. I bought all these magazines and tons of 22 ammunition. Guess what? My Ruger 9mm is on that list. Okay? Now, by this time, my daughter was interested. Goes to college, got a job, a federal job, you know, good girl. She went out and got her long gun license at 17. Passed the test, flying colors, and got her registered, even though we can't do anything with it, just like us. Basically, she turned 18, that's it. I think the age had to be, and got that right away. We paid for it. So then it turned into a family affair. She loved me on weekends. You see where I'm going with this? Started off with me as a kid, playing with guns in a controlled environment, unloaded, and trained by a military guy. You know, I don't mean playing with guns, but comfortable with guns. Get married, have a child. It turns out we all got our gun license, and it was a family thing to do. So we would go to the range. I'd bring all 4, 1 each. My wife loved the Ruger 10/22, which as of this moment hasn't been banned. I had my daughter fire the shotgun just so she knows. She's like, wow, just like that. Yeah, that's because you got to know what you're dealing with here. Got to know how to load it, unload it. And she really liked the Ruger 9mm and the GSG, of course. And what do? They just banned my GSG, turned it prohibited. All I could do is keep it locked up. A plinking rifle. It's because it looks like a more powerful gun. It's like banning a kit car, $50,000 kit car because it looks like the Lamborghini. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, crime is going crazy in this country. I'm just walking around the plateau here. Let me get a bottle of wine. Excuse me. So, we have 4 guns. All that work to get the license. All that money. Because in Canada, all these licenses aren't cheap. And you got to drive and this and that. And then you take the courses and pay. I mean, whoa. And then, so they had these guns on a list. Then they said, okay, because there's a big stink, you can go ahead and buy them. And then they go, no, we changed our mind. Now I'm getting emails from the RCMP telling me a date that I have to turn these in or they're going to come and take them from me. At one point, it was even implied or suggested that I could contribute these or send them off to somewhere off in Europe. Boy, I'm getting old. I'm losing my mind, my memory. The Ukraine. Imagine. Okay, you might look tough with the GSG. It's a plinking. It's a 22. Yes, you can take an eye out, And you can take a life. It is not a military rifle. It's a plinker. Plinker meaning you go either to the woods, or in America, go to the holler, or, Canadians, we envy the Americans. And shoot cans and stuff with it. Targets. That's what you do. That's it. So they I can donate this to the Ukraine. Well, I really can't afford that, and and they take in my 9mm. Now, for whatever reason, they grandfathered in handguns, so you can still use your handgun, but I can't use my GSG. So the family event, all this money spent on licenses, boom, they took half of our. Now my daughter's bugging me because she knows guys at school, like Italian guys. They love hunting. And you're talking, a schoolmate, and you're talking about how likes duck hunting, and my daughter said, "Yeah, I'd like to go with you sometime." He goes, "Well, first you need one of these." Showed his gun license. She goes, "Oh, I got that." And he's like, "No, you don't." He goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I do. I even have my restricted." He goes, "No, you don't." She whipped it out. The guy was in shock. She got it when she turned 18. But now that she's finding out, the boys are really impressed when she whips out her gun license. I told her when she goes to clubs and that, because they ID everybody, I go, "Just whip out your gun license. I just want to see the look at a bouncer's face. Cute little girl with a whatever." So this was a family activity. So now there's another list of guns. They look like they're like World War II or World War I, whatever, ancient guns for whatever reason. I scanned the list, but the 1022 wasn't on it, nor was my shotgun. And I checked the stores still sell the Remington 870. So that looks like a sign that it's still available. It's still, legal. So we're going to go out to the club this week. And even though we can only take those two guns, and just, do it. But yeah, so this is what's going on in Canada. I'm getting emails from the RCMP telling me they're coming for my plinking guns. And here we are on St. Denis. Still got the Christmas lights up. And they banned plinking guns and 9mm carbines, which is a carbine is it's a pistol caliber, but in a rifle form. You would not want this in the Ukraine. Again, it's more of a plinker. You could, in a pinch, I'm sure you could take down a hog and stuff like that, but it's not a war gun. It's not really a hunting gun. We like it because, we're not preppers, but it's a good gun to have. It breaks apart small, and again, a lot of people turn their nose up. I get it. Buy a real gun, people say. Save your money. Again, you're talking to a family. We don't have, a heck of a lot of money. And boy, you think golf is expensive, forget about it. Horseback riding, that's not, my wife likes to do that. She hasn't done it in decades, but that's expensive. But guns, forget about it. Ammo. So yeah, we can afford 22 ammo and a few shotgun shells and some 9mm. And so anyway, I just want to make this video and a list of people who, I know there are a lot of videos out there because we're all freaking out. And all we can do is hope the other guy is telling the truth. I'm talking about Polyev. And we got to get rid of this government because it's crazy. And I heard him say he's going to do something. So when he changes the law, if you buy a gun, they can't just say, "Oh, we changed our mind." Once you got it, you got it. Which would be nice because I'm afraid to spend any money on guns now, like I said, I wouldn't mind a lever action gun. And if anybody looking at what is it, Winchester? I know they're made in Japan, but they look pretty nice. I forget some of the names, but there's the Italian ones and whatnot. But lever action seemed to be missing from this list, and they're kind of cool. And I wanted to get the 38 special 357, or what is that? Yeah, it takes the two different ammos because you can pair it with a handgun. You get a revolver, Smith and Wesson, I guess. What is it, 686? And then you can use it with the lever action too. So it's going to get the lever action with 38 special 357, I guess is what the ammo is. So if anybody has any opinion, but yeah, Canada, well, everyone's like, Canada's not for sale. Me and my family say, yes, it is. I would love to move to Florida or Virginia, or, I'm not a big flag waver. I'm not really that proud of being Canadian. I think I was, but I'm really not anymore. But high taxes and crazy laws and everything's expensive. Boy, you see what a house costs in Texas and what we pay here? What's up with that? Anyway, I'm gonna go get a bottle of wine. So that's it. The Canadian gun ban continues. We need a new government. We're just a family who likes to plink as a family activity, because you can't do too much stuff in the winter, It's not Switzerland. It's cold and icy, and it's nice on the weekend. We work all week, go to school and whatnot, and go and shoot the GSG at the local. And you have to, you can't just walk in a gun club here in Canada. You have to write on every time you walk in the serial number of your gun, what time you walked in, all the guns with you, have a license, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And we did all that. We played the game. We got our licenses, and then they took away our guns from a family, husband, wife, and a daughter. Good student, good kid, and anyway, it's getting scary. I'm afraid to spend any money on guns now and ammo. And if they buy back my gun, are they going to buy all that ammo I bought? Are they going to buy all the magazines and the red dots and the cases and the sleeves? And guns ain't cheap. Anyway, that's my rant for today. I know it's a little different video. It's on the Canadian gun ban. And I'm really getting sick of it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and buy a bottle of wine. Bye now.